crave. Under neon lights we take a stand. Knights and wizards across the land.
Brains. Broadcasting live from Site B at 8 o'clock in the morning, located in the beautiful town of Fresno, Nevada, which does not exist. It's your boy, the OGGM, coming to you to bring you all the tabletop role-playing game, crowdfunding, Kickstarty type things that are coming to an end this week. But you still have a chance to support. So speaking of Kickstarters that are coming to an end, congratulations to our friend, the Basic Expert, for his Whitebox D20 D&D retro clone project thingy being more than successful, extremely successful. And yeah, and for anybody who backed that project, that should be coming out pretty soon to all of you. I backed it. I've decided that I'm only going to invest Kickstart money in people I actually know and want to succeed. Sure, there's the Invincible Kickstart, which we'll look at a second, but I don't know freeleague. And I don't, so yeah. And it's a superhero game that I'm interested in, but let's face it, I'll never run it. I'll never play it. So yeah, I'm only going to spend Kickstart money on my friends, on people I respect and people who I think, need the help. So I was more than happy to support the Basic Experts Whitebox. I would say, but OGGM, you just said you're not going to support games you already have and you don't need and don't want and probably never play. Yeah, but it's a friend. And I want him to succeed. So even though I'll probably never get to use it, congratulations on our good friend, the Basic Expert, for his Kickstart being successful. And now for some other Kickstarters that need your support or lack thereof. And as I mentioned, the Invincible Kickstarter from freeleague Games, it's coming to an end. It's 998 SK if you want to get the PDF and print version of the core rulebook, starter box set, GM screen, and dice. There are cheaper ones. If you just want the PDF, it's 224 SEK. How much is that in real money? You subtract the last number, and it's what it is in US money. So 224 was 24 or $22. 998 is like $90 in American. So if you want to support it, uses the Year Zero system, which I was always curious to see if Year Zero could be used as a superhero role-playing game. I mean, they've dabbled with powers in their other games, psychic powers mostly, or mutations for Year Zero. But this one is full-on flight and vulnerability, laser blast, all the characters from the comic book, and there are a lot. And converted to freeleague. So will it work? I don't know. I'm curious. I was going to Kickstart it, but then I realized I was only going to Kickstart it because I wanted to know about the world. It's like, I'm curious to know about all the characters. I love the cartoon. Mark is my least favorite character. I don't really care about the Voltamites and Mark and Invincible. I'm more curious about all the other supporting characters. I want to know more about Bulletproof. I want to know more about Exploding Rex, So I know it's weird, but yeah. Every time I watch the cartoon, I'm more interested in the rest of the world. Who's that? Who's that? Who's that? So yeah, but it's still going. It's probably funded. It's freeleague, who we absolutely love. The book will be filled with art. We know that because it's freeleague and probably a lot of wasted fluff. I love you, freeleague. I love your product. Tales from the Loop is my RPG for like whatever. I don't know why, but it is my favorite. This I would probably love, but I would never use it. So I'd rather it go to somebody else who will use it. Moving on from Speak and Spells Publishing. Oh, what an obscure reference. Well played. Referencing the Speak a Spell. Do you remember the Speak a Spell? It was a little kid things in the 70s and 80s, and you like spun the thing and it pointed to an animal or a thing, and then it would say the thing and tell you how to spend it. So you'd go like cow, and then it would go cow, COW, cow. And they somehow managed to get that into a name of a company. Well done. This is called Wild Magic Reimagined for 5e or any D20 type system that has Wild Magic. It's $99 for the PDF and print version of the book and 800 cards. It has cards. It's a reimagination of the Wild Magic system. and the sorcerers with wild magic, new wild magic effects, new subclasses. Does it really need? Wild magic table definitely needed more stuff. The sorcerer, I've said before, I think needs to be rewritten, especially the wild magic sorcerer. I think these, if I were ever to do a 5e clone or 5e expansion or create sorcerers for, say, Shadowdark or whatever, I would start the percentage of a wild surge be really, really high. And as you got higher in level, the surge got really, really lowered, or you had more control over the surge. Because the only reason people chose to play wild magic sorcerers is there was the chance of the random fireball, or the spell getting slightly more powerful, right? But every time you use the spell, there was a 1% chance of you getting the thing, and then there's a 1% chance of you getting the surge you wanted. So I always thought either they should have more control over the surge, or the chance of the surge happening should be much higher, because that's the only reason to choose that build. So these guys look like they have tried to do that. So I'm curious. Good luck, guys. It's $99 if you want to get the print version, hardcover, and 800 cards. From Soul Muppet Publishing. Okay, that's another great name for a company. We've got Doomspiral. $50 shipping and handling for PDF and print version of the book. It's an original fantasy RPG set in a drying world inspired by Miyazaki, Dark Souls, and Elden Ring, and written by Nick Spence and Zachary Cox. In the game, the world is dying. It's up to your character to decide the fate by restoring order or ending the world. Well, I mean, it depends how much I love the world. If I really love it, I'd want to save it. If it's like this one, it's 240 pages, including campaign, the engine that uses a D6 scale, positive and negative outcomes, gaming table, blah, blah, blah. It's a fantasy world. How do you get Miyazaki, Dark Souls, and Elden Ring all in the same sentence? Now, I've, obviously referring to Nausicaa, for the dying world. Nausicaa was a post-apocalypse setting. But the rest of Miyazaki stuff, I don't know, it was like Totoro, End of the World, Kiki's Delivery Service, End of the World, Howl's Moving, yeah. Not really. Okay, so it's an original about a world what's dying, because there's no other games that have done that topic. Anyways, good luck, guys. Hopefully you succeed. It's $50 for the PDF and print version of the book. I want to support this. From Arken Forge, A-R-K-E-N. Is that supposed to be Arcane? Arken Forge. Arken. Is Arken a word? I don't think so. Anyways, from Arken Forge, we have got Dark Fantasy Construction Kit. System neutral. It's $80 for the 7 digital packs. Do you need VTT map tokens and digital assets for your Dark Fantasy Online? Backers receive these things. You pick which one you want it for, and then include encounter maps, regional maps, digital elements, digital environmental things. Ooh, I can put a flickering torch in my Roll20 game. Is there anybody who really cares about that? Honestly, I want to know. It's like everybody's like, ooh, animated tokens for my Roll20. I can now have a flickering torch on my Roll20 board. Because if you've used Roll20, you know how unbelievably clunky and not intuitive it is. Why would you want to add animation? Anyways, that said, if you do support this, please remember to check for viruses, malware, and phishing things before you install it. We wish them all the luck in the world. So $80 if you want to pick this thing up. From Graft-Bound Press, we have Gallistant, a 2-player Arthurian tabletop role-playing game. It's $12. So, hey, $12. We're supporting just for that. It's a duet game where you have 2-table, round-modern GM style. You play as a knight and the questing beach, each taking a role in creating this world's mirth. You lay down the cards, turning each to set up a scene. It's got a 400-page rule book. I think I've played this game. It had a different name. I think it was called Fairy Tale. So you go, I play this card, and the beast goes, I play this, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I don't know why it has to be 2-player. It doesn't really sound like a role-playing game. It sounds like a card game. You play a card, you play a card. You react to the card, you react to the card. Maybe I succeed and catch the questing beast. Maybe I fail. Doesn't really sound like a role-playing game, but all the luck in the world, and you've managed to keep it down to $12, and I respect that for somebody who releases his stuff for $6 or $10. From Battlefield Press, we have Tales from Whitechapel for the Gaslight Victorian Fantasy RPG, because God forbid we don't have enough Gaslight Victorian Fantasy RPGs. It's $10, so hey, it's worth investing in just for $10. And it's, wait for it, 122 pages of Gaslight Victorian Fantasy, specifically around Whitechapel, specifically around Jack the Ripper and all the other stuff that happened in Whitechapel. So if you're a fan of Victorian fantasy, kickstart this book for $10 and check a look. I mean, $10, you can't go wrong with $10. Congratulations, Battlefield Press, for being able to release a project for the reasonable price of $10. I would start with this one if I was a fan of Victorian fantasy RPGs, because it's $10. And you're giving me 122 pages for $10 for the Gaslight Victorian Fantasy. And again, I don't understand why this is the game setting so many people have glommed onto as just, this is what I want to play. As opposed to, I live in the United States, I would like to play a game about what was going on in that time period in the United States. But I guess, I don't know, the Old West and stuff like that is not as interesting as Sherlock Holmes, Jules Verne kind of stuff. That's just me. I don't understand it. I'm sure there's somebody out there far more smart than I am who understand why humans, gamers, have fixate on that period of time. I don't live in England. I don't know anything about England other than Sherlock Holmes, but damn, I would love to play in Victorian England. All the, crime and squalor and from EN Publishing, we have What's Old is New Beastry for fantasy and modern. These are monsters and creatures and stuff for the What's Old is New role-playing game, which I've been told is sort of a variant of the old classic West End Games D6 system. Anyways, it's $50 for the PDF and print version of the book, plus VTT assets, and it's a book of monsters. You guys remember, when in doubt, make monsters. But it's not monsters for D20. No, it's monsters for the What's Old is New generic system. So it's going to have past monsters, present monsters, future monsters, monsters from mythology, just a hodgepodge of monsters for all sorts of different timelines that you can just throw in if you're actually using the What's Old is New system. I'm sure somebody out there is using it. I have heard good things about it. So yeah, there you go. So the only thing that jumps out at me this week is obviously Invincible. I love superhero role-playing games. I love the show on Amazon. I love freeleague. They're the creator of several of my favorite RPGs that I'll never play. I've got my copies of The Electric State and Tales from the Loop still sitting on my shelf, other than flipping through them occasionally. I know I'll never run them. I know I'll never play them, but I love them. I love them so much. I don't know why. They just sing to my troubled soul the way few other role-playing games have it. So, yeah, support this game. Am I going to get the PDF? Probably. Am I ever going to play it? No. But I'm just curious. Anyways, there you go. 200 and some odd, $99 if you want the super duper deluxe version, $22 if you want the PDF. That's the only thing I really recommend. If you still want to support Basic Expert, even though it's been fully funded, but you still want to get yourself a copy of Whitebox, that's still available to do post completion and stuff like that. And if you don't want to support any of the things that I've just mentioned, but you're still feeling generous, don't forget that I've got several ways you can support me. Support me, please. I'm desperate. I've got the Ko-Fi, which, you can spread a little holiday love. I've got the Only Crits Dice link, which you can link to the Only Crits Dice site and get yourself a set of the Only Crits Dice. Only dice. Approved and tested by Steve the Cat. Of course, I've got my product up still on drive-thru, still only $6 each. My superhero game and my weird, wacky role-playing West role-playing game, which I'm going to be talking about on RPG Worlds next week with Dan. So yeah, or just, if you haven't subscribed to the OGGM, please subscribe. Let's help me reach 2,300 or whatever by the end of the year. or maybe even 3,000. That would be nice. 3,000 by the end of the year. Doubt it could happen, but hey, yeah. That's it for Kickstarts. If you appreciate this content, let me know. If you never want to hear me do this ever again, let me know. Happy Halloween. Happy first Friday of October. Now get out of here.